It's time for us to have a discussion on motivation. Now, with us, we have a friend of the house. She's an author. She's also the owner of DRS Etiquette, Damnola Ogunremi. She's into image consulting and experienced etiquette image expert. She has a decade plus of working experience with organizations and corporate individuals. When it comes to schools, startups, it's all about building growth-based business behavior. And today, we're talking about something very important. How much do you trust your coworker to have your back? How much do you trust your boss to have your back? How much do you trust your colleagues to get the job done? Establishing trust in the workplace. That's the discussion today. Welcome back, Dami.
I'm glad to be here. Good morning.
Good morning. Sometimes I don't trust my colleagues. I won't lie. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I feel like there's some people that just know that this is what they're supposed to do. They get it done. Even if it's almost at the deadline, they will get it done.
Yes.
Right? But how do you create this unending circle of trust in the workplace?
Excuse me. I think during the first episode, Winfrey mentioned something about trust being broken. And I said that the best way to end the circle is to give people back based on the trust they've invested in you.
Okay.
So let people draw from the investment they've invested in your bank of trust.
Okay.
You understand me? So by so doing, you end, oh, he disappointed me, she disappointed me, and I trusted him. You know, another thing we said last week, we spoke about building strong relationship on the job. You can separate trust and relationship. So, and I spoke about getting to know people.
So there's this issue with, especially in this space, in our culture.
Yes.
There's this, oh, how's your family? How was your night? Really getting involved in people's personal lives. And then there's this whole, that's where see finish starts, you know. In the end, you might be a subordinate or superior to someone. Who is supposed to establish trust first? Is it the superior? Is it the subordinate? How do you begin the circle of trust?
The thing is, if this has to do with subordinate and the boss, you have to be careful so you don't turn out to become yes man, yes, like you're up to something.
Yeah.
So I would suggest that you move close, but don't throw yourself, don't lose yourself.
Okay.
You wait and play the relationship accordingly.
Okay.
Let the relationship go accordingly. What's your boss trying to build with you? Okay. Based on that, you respond.
Okay.
So you don't just throw yourself.
All right.
And you spoke about something about how you're doing and all that.
Yeah.
It's very important to get to know each other.
Okay.
On the personal level, on the job.
So there are some, like for instance, let's talk about our circle, our unit here at Wake Up Nigeria.
Yes.
You know, I know loads about Mike. I know loads about Winfrey. I know loads about but you know, there are some things that we don't share. There's some things we don't talk about. Now, does the fact that I don't ask about these things, does it mean that they don't trust me enough to talk about them with me? What does it mean?
Yeah, there are levels to relationship, especially on the job.
Okay.
I just spoke about giving back. What you people are doing right now is giving what this person invested.
Okay.
That's what you're doing now.
Okay.
Anything can happen to shift the relationship from that level to the next level. Okay. So whatever is going on now, it's not bad.
I want to talk a bit about broken trust. For instance, on the job. Yeah, so maybe there was a project you were supposed to get done, and we needed 3 or 4 people to get this project done. And 2 people dropped the ball. Now, maybe the remaining 2 people were able to get the job done and cover for everybody else. But another project comes up, and you are the same 4 people on that team. How do you rebuild that broken trust? Since maybe, the first time you didn't even get credit for all the hard work you did, how do you rebuild after trust is broken?
Well, if from within the context you're talking about, If it's about project, not that somebody, you tell a colleague something about a boss and he spills it.
Yeah.
If it has to do with project, you just have to detach self from the situation and do your job.
Okay.
You know, it's all about your people. It's about the organization. So you have to detach self.
So once you remove yourself from it, that means no matter what, the project has to get done.
Because it has nothing to do with you people. It's the company's project. If it's a personal thing now, like I stated now, like let's say you tell something to a colleague about a boss and he or she spills it, then that's a problem.
Okay.
But now we're talking about the job, the goal. You know, you must have a common goal. And the goal is to profit the bottom line of the company. So you have to detach self.
Okay, now let's go back to, you know, this issue of trust within the workplace. And when it comes to what you've been making reference to now, you know, the cho-cho-cho, the gossip, and all that, I feel like in an African context, it's almost normal, it's almost acceptable. But from an etiquette standpoint, what should the norm be?
It's not just from an etiquette standpoint, from an organizational culture.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of companies don't want such culture in their company.
But it's happening.
Well, it's happening, but in some places, you won't even know. You won't notice.
Okay, you won't notice?
Because of the culture. Imagine there's some organization you get to, and they have horrible caucus, as in which we call caucus in Eastern me, segregate, this is my own, negative favoritism on the job. Into an organization that is not allowed. Okay. Because that is not uniform with the company's culture. So
now, at this point, you've touched on company culture, which is another whole area we need to touch on. There are some companies that haven't actually established a full-on culture, a full breakdown of what they expect,
no mission statement,
teams. But in the end, as a boss, I've invested hundreds of millions into my company. I'm trying to trust my team. What do you think, as a boss, I could do to get to trust my team better?
Training is one of those things.
Okay.
You know, when you educate people, they're exposed to certain knowledge. You know, an employee or employees that you train will be aware that they need to be reliable, they need to be accountable, they need to demonstrate integrity. All those things comes through training.
Okay.
And you have to keep doing it from time to time.
All right, well, the floor is open for your comments and contributions. We'd love to hear your thoughts on establishing trust in the workplace. You know, everyone, they say it's not one size fits all. Every company is different. Every business is different. So in your space, how have you been able to establish trust with your teams? Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC and tag us WakeUpNigeria TVCE and let us know what you think.